Waste we have here 37.
Let me introduce you to the person whose measurements are being taken. It's me, documentary filmmaker Dave Lines. I'm about to tell you the story of how I got this blue-green suit, why this river in Ghana is so yellow, and what all of this has to do with the title of this film. This is my first time in an unofficial small mine, and it's very slippery. Places like this are called small-scale or artisanal mines. It's almost impossible to talk over the running machines. It's better over here.
They are done with the night shift. They are now coming to start the day shift.
So at night they are also working with electric light, or?
No, there's not. They use torch lights.
Torch lights?
Yeah.
Okay. For me it seems a bit dangerous. It's loud, it's smoky, it's slippery.
We are used to it. We are not used to it. We are used to the noise pollution, the smoke. Actually, we don't feel it. So maybe to you it's dangerous, but to us it's normal.
The workers use two methods to mine the gold. They extract it out of the ground with water or dig it out of underground tunnels. Gold mining takes place across almost all of Ghana in unofficial mines like this one or bigger industrial ones, with consequences which I want to take a closer look at. But first, we take a step back. Why should I, a journalist reporting on Switzerland, be interested in this? This man knows the answer. Mark Piet is a lawyer, anti-corruption expert, and author.
Switzerland plays an astonishing role in the gold business. It's a country that actually has no gold at all, but it has the largest refineries in the world. Until recently, 70% of the world's gold was refined in Switzerland. Now it's maybe 50%. That's still higher than anywhere else in the world.
According to the Industry Association, 1/3 of global gold production is currently processed in Swiss refineries. The big four are Metalor, Argor Heraeus, MKS Pump, and Valcambi. I'd love to take a look behind the scenes of this secretive industry.
The problem is that a lot of this gold is dirty because it involves child labor, because rainforests are being cut down, because mercury is being emitted. We also have problems with conflict gold, which keeps coming into Switzerland.
Dirty gold in one of the world's cleanest countries. The matter caught the attention of the United Nations, which believes that the problems originate at the highest level.
In the year 2023, you sent a letter to the Swiss government. What was it about?
I was particularly concerned, as expressed in that letter, about the insufficiencies that existed in Swiss legislation and policy in regards to the imports of gold.
And what do you expect from the Swiss government?
I expect Switzerland to strengthen its laws and policy and to have clear standards that would require its refineries not to become complicit and contribute to human rights violations overseas, which is the current situation. And the way to do that is to require strong due diligence so that the refineries know where their gold is coming from, who produced it, and how it was produced.
Now that's what I call a clear statement. But before I go into that, we'll take a detour to the south and back in time. How did Switzerland achieve its prime position in the global gold industry? 3 out of Switzerland's 4 biggest refineries are located here in Ticino. Historically, what's the reason for this?
It's no coincidence that they're in the very south of Switzerland, close to the Italian border. On the one hand, Switzerland has always offered political stability, so one could stay out of war. On the other hand, the financial industry, the banks financing these transactions, this gold trade, were already strong. And then there's perhaps another reason. Italy always had a strong tradition of jewelry making.
For a long time, Italy was the world's largest jewelry producer, making it the ideal buyer for gold from Switzerland. But there's another shadier side to this story, and the banks played a part in it. 4 of the 7 biggest gold refineries in the world are here in Switzerland. What's the historical reason?
Yes, the reasons for this are not very uplifting. Originally, it had to do with the fact that the Nazis misused neutral Switzerland to melt down gold they had stolen from national banks. But also from Jewish people. In extreme cases, even the gold teeth of those they murdered. This was melted down here and stamped as Swiss gold. And Switzerland received it in exchange for Swiss francs.
A topic already investigated in another documentary.
The German Reichsmark was not accepted anywhere outside Germany. For weapons and raw materials, the Nazis needed a strong currency and cosmopolitan bankers with few scruples. They found both in Switzerland.
Something similar actually happened with apartheid in South Africa, where Switzerland helped it to circumvent UN sanctions.
During racial segregation, South Africa was the world's largest gold producer, and that's how the controversial state was financed. Switzerland cashed in heavily on this. Each of the 4 major banks at the time built its own refinery.
That's how the 4 refineries that still exist today were built. By the 4 big Swiss banks that helped South Africa avoid national bankruptcy.
It's difficult to oppress a people without violence.
Sie werden keinen Erfolg haben. Wenn nötig, werden wir zu schärferen Maßnahmen greifen, aber sie werden keinen Erfolg haben.
The South African president's heavy hand had consequences, and economic sanctions came into force. But Switzerland didn't play along. During that time, over 50% of South Africa's gold production continued to make its way to Switzerland. Today, with gold from Russia being sanctioned, is something similar happening again in Switzerland?
Yes, something very similar is happening. Russian gold is still coming into Switzerland today, albeit in a roundabout way.
Since the beginning of the Ukraine war in 2022, Switzerland's gold imports from Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan have increased immensely and suspiciously. According to their own statements, Switzerland's biggest refineries voluntarily adhere to the OECD standard. This requires them to exercise due diligence along the entire supply chain. Yet the only legal requirement in Switzerland to date is to indicate from whom the gold was purchased. So let's take a step back.
There is a loophole in Swiss legislation regarding due diligence and transparency in the origin of gold. The competent authority, the Precious Metals Control, cannot verify the legality of the gold if it only goes back to one dealer. I think the fact that even the Swiss Precious Metals Processors Association is calling for stricter rules is clear proof that this loophole exists.
In March 2025, the National Council, a chamber of the Swiss Parliament, voted in favor of the requested revision of the Precious Metals Control Act. Now it goes to the Council of States, I'm curious about an industry which is calling for its own stricter regulation and was invited to join a media roundtable.
We are the umbrella organization of the Swiss precious metal industry. Very often we are compared with the raw material trading segment. This is absolutely not the case. Our industry, we work hard. The precious metal of dubious origin has no place in Switzerland. We have immense challenges along the chain. We have the problem of corruption. We have the problem of respecting human rights. We have child labor problem. We have the negative impact on the environment. One is
never too old to learn. We have come to realize that the pressure from the public markets has created a certain need for transparency.
I knock on the door of Argo Heraeus, one of the biggest refineries in Switzerland. A friendly phone call, a week-long wait, and then Argo Heraeus is a global pioneer in the use of supply chain traceability technology. Unfortunately, we believe that the topic cannot be adequately dealt with in a short program with a wide variety of protagonists and will therefore refrain from allowing filming at our premises. MKS Pomp is also a member of the umbrella organization. After long preliminary talks, a short answer, apologies for the late reply, MKS Pomp will not participate in this matter. That leaves me with a third and final major member of the association, Metalor in Marin, French-speaking Switzerland. And hallelujah, I'm actually allowed in. At least in the laboratory, where I will learn all about the geoforensic passport developed jointly with Barbara Beck and the University of Lausanne. Metalor has a huge database of rock samples and their metallurgical composition from various mines around the world. This forms the basis for traceability.
If it comes to gold from big official mines, is it possible to trace it back from the mine to the refinery in Switzerland?
Tracing the gold is not really a problem. All transport of material is done via secure transporters, so we know exactly where the gold is coming from. The real question is how can we ensure that the supplier is not adding material from illegal source in the material? And for this, the geoforensic passport offers a security we cannot have with any other technique. It's an analysis of every single ingot coming from mine arriving at a refinery, and we compare the signature of that ingot with the signature of the supplier. If there is a mismatch, we know there may be a problem and we investigate further.
One never stops learning. Gold mined in big mines is pre-refined on site. What is then sent to Switzerland for refining is known in the industry as doré. And here's the thing. In addition to gold, doré always contains silver, copper, and all the other metals that can be found in the earth in different quantities. Their combination makes each mine unique.
Is there still something that geoforensic passport is not capable of?
The geoforensic passport is a fantastic solution when it comes to mine gold, but it cannot be applied when materials are mixed together.
And that's exactly the issue. 85% of the gold that comes into Switzerland has already been melted down.
Gold doesn't disappear. It is continuously remelted, refined, remelted, and refined. So you can have in all recycled gold from ancient Egypt, from Cleopatra. You can have gold that was coming from the Nazi Germany, that was stored here, and so on.
I'm now at Valcambi in Ticino, in terms of capacity, the biggest gold refinery in the world. At last, I get to see with my own eyes how the smelting process actually works. The deal is I'm here to talk about Valcambi's gold traceability measures. But I never expected to get access to this refinery of all places.
Valcambi is the largest refinery in Switzerland. Yet last year, it decided to leave the Swiss Association of Manufacturers and Traders in Precious Metals. This may have something to do with the fact that Valcambi is the only refinery in Switzerland that still sources gold from the United Arab Emirates, specifically from Dubai.
Dubai. By this point, I've heard a lot about it. The gold from there is divisive in terms of opinions and refineries.
Dubai hat sehr gute, verlässliche Partner.
Dubai has very good, reliable partners. But Dubai is also a centre. People know that. Illegal, black market, criminal gold that comes into the country from Africa is processed there. That's a fact. And as I mentioned, we at the association are of the opinion that if the source cannot be clearly identified, we should keep our hands off it.
Dann Finger weg davon.
Valcambi is the only of the 4 big Swiss refineries which still works with gold from Dubai.
Yes.
And why is it like this?
Well, because if you look at the numbers, Valcambi has taken around 300 tons of gold from Dubai last year, more or less. Dubai produced 1,300 tons. You cannot say, I don't take from Dubai means you don't receive gold from Dubai, because the remaining 1,000 tons produced from Dubai will flow in the market. We prefer to go and take from 2 approved producers in Dubai, where we do an enhanced due diligence, than to say we do not take from Dubai and then you receive gold from other countries. That's why we continue to take. The position of the association is different, we know, and that's why we decided to leave the association. It's not acceptable that you block a country because you're not able to do your job.
Valcambi is confident that they have their supply chain under control. To check gold from big mines, they use a technique similar to the geoforensic passport. For gold from smaller mines, they're still working on a technique and rely on controls.
How often a year is a mine visited?
Well, by definition for Valcambi, any high-risk counterparty must be visited at least once per year.
It gets more complicated with recycled gold. In this case, only close monitoring, certification bodies, traders, middlemen, previous refineries, and so on can help. All the information is stored on various software. Valcambi requires its suppliers to apply the same standards of care as it does itself. These are verified through regular checks. I'm in the field in Ghana to take a closer look at gold mining and its impact.
So this is what mining is doing to our rivers in Ghana. Almost every part of the country, this is what the miners are doing to our rivers. This is River Butre. It's one of the traditional rivers that you can find in Ghana. It serves many communities for farming, for household activities, and all of that. Before the year 2000s, it used to be a very clean water or river that people depend on it. You get fish in there, people use it for farming and all of that. But as we speak, this is the state. It's very turbid and dirty.
Ghana is the biggest gold mining country in Africa, and Switzerland is the biggest buyer. Obrem Pong is a journalist and has been reporting on the impacts for his home country for years. Testing the water would cost $190, a month's salary. A sum he can't afford on his own. We now have to wait 14 days for the results. Just enough time for an epic journey into the heart of gold mining. No matter where you go, the precious metal plays a role. Our first stop is Tarkwa, a lively town in the western Wassa district. Industrial mines have been operating in the region for decades. Here, one of the largest gold mines in Africa is operated by Gold Fields, a company from South Africa. We confirm that some of the gold mined here goes to one of the 4 big refineries in Switzerland. For just 1 to 3 grams of gold, a ton of rock needs to be blasted from this quarry. Everything we see here is really big, but as far as I can tell, top-notch. Extremely high safety standards apply. We're assured that there is no pollution. All the water stays inside the mine and is even cleaner than the water outside. Extensive renaturalization measures are in place, and there's no way that dirty gold can be smuggled into a shipment here. This is backed up by countless certifications.
From ICMI to ISO 14001, ISO 45001, ISO 27001, ISO 50001. We are a member of the World Gold Council, we are a member of the ICMM, we belong to other international institutions that ensures that we have transparency in how we mine and sell gold.
You are a multinational company. I always wonder why it's not a Ghanaian company which owns the gold here in Ghana.
So, I mean, you are, and I can tell you, so we used to have a state gold mining corporation, but I guess over time what we have realized is that companies that are run by the state are not run efficiently. I mean, you always need private participation. We make sure that host countries benefit from what we do here.
The company has invested $100 million into infrastructure, education, and health in the region in recent decades. The communities themselves decide what they need most. Just a week before our visit, the most urgent need was this football stadium. Gold Fields has a dedicated department for public communications.
What are the challenges? What are the negative effects the community has with big-scale mining?
So the challenges basically are from the fact that they need more. Communities are always expecting more from us. And as one company, sometimes you can't do it all. This is a developing country, and if you have a multinational here, the community expects that every problem that they have, the company should come in to support.
We're told Gold Fields has been operating in the area for so long that the big battles have long been fought. So off we go to Newmont, an allegedly notorious mining company. The name isn't new to me. I've read about it in Out of the Shadows, a report by the Swiss NGO SwissAid. In 2023, business connections between the major refineries and their sources were made public. The report and our own research suggest that one of the major Swiss refineries sourced gold from Newmont and still does today. Let's see what the people there have to say.
So when you come into the community, you see the problem. You see a lot of problem. All the water bodies in this area, you are destroying them. You have some people cruising to the mining activity. Those people, when you look at their scans, you cry for them. It's very serious. And you pay a little compensation to take a cocoa farm. The law says that when you destroy somebody's cocoa farm, you have to pay the life expectancy of the crop. But it doesn't work. The life expectancy of the cocoa tree, it can last about 50 to the 70, 100 years in this area. And you pay 120 cedis for a whole economic life of the cocoa tree. It is the adequate compensation.
In my understanding, a compensation should be enough that the farmer who lost his land, his farmland, should be able to buy adequate new farmland in the same size to continue his work.
They only pay the crops. It's not the land. When you pay the crops, and that's money you use to cater for your family. The farm is not there. And the same money you use for food, you use for everything. How can you buy a land from that money? You can't get it. You are farmers, you don't have anything to farm. So what is the hope? You don't have any hope.
A 2-hour bumpy drive away, I meet this farmer and his family.
I have 7 children. 6 are male and female is 1.
And you all live together?
Yeah.
The family lives together in this room. Just outside the village, Newmont is starting a new mining project. At the local school, I learned that members of the community researched how the company had proceeded in neighboring regions.
They started to use military, they started to use police. If you have a village or a structure within the concession, they just go there and demolish the structure without compensation. They started destroying a lot of villages. If you are not fortunate and you meet them, they will just beat you up. So through that, we decided to find a means to protect our properties. So we formed an association called Concerned Farmers Association. Newmont decided to use some kind of strategy. They came to the community, they also organized some people, so it became divide and rule. Some of the farmers are not educated, so when they enter their farms, whatever they write on the compensation sheet, they cannot even read. So they just interpret it to suit the farmer's ear. So the whole community was divided.
One of the things that bothered the farmers was that the surveyors were paid by the companies, and the entire process of surveying their farms was not transparent. They resisted for as long as they could, but eventually their fish ponds, wells, chickens, and plantations could not be saved.
The government supported the company.
Yes, the government came in to take the possession of the land.
And did you have any chance to resist this?
No, we have nothing to do to resist them because government has taken possession.
He says the only compensation he's received to date has been 6 times the equivalent of $17 to rent a place for his family to live.
Those who are not part of the association, they have got their compensation, but at the moment they are all crying. Some of them started to put up a building, and some of them reached a dwarf stage, and the money is finished. Let me use this way: in future, the whole community is doomed.
Change of scene, same precious metal, different impact. This town is booming. Tens of thousands, mainly young men, have been drawn to this place for years, attracted by the gold rush. I meet my guide, who has worked his way up from simple shoveler to the financier of this small mine. The excavator has to run around the clock to make the investment worthwhile. The excavated material is sieved through in 2 9-hour shifts. But no nuggets are found here, only tiny stones with gold particles. They get stuck in the sheets and are collected.
How much gold do one machine get per 9-hour shift?
Let me say About 3 grams, 4 grams per shift.
$200 for 6 workers a day.
Per day.
Yeah. The police sometimes comes and stops?
Police sometimes come. Sometimes military, sometimes police.
And then they take all the machines with them, or how can
No, they can't take the machines with them. You have to stop it. Sometimes they destroy the machines. But sometimes they don't, when they come here, they don't do anything. They just talk to us on how we can do responsible mining without destroying the water bodies, and after that we reclaim the land.
There are not much other job opportunities in the area.
No, there's no much apart from mining. There's no factory here. There's nothing apart from the mining.
Only farming would be possible.
Only farming. Majority of the population prefer mining to farming.
Once the material has been sieved several times, mercury is used. That's right, the liquid heavy metal that can have serious health consequences, including causing malformations in newborn babies. One thing it does well, it binds to gold particles. Once this happens, it is then separated from the gold. The toxic fumes dissipate, and here's the result. That was intense. Next, I go to talk to experts at the University of Mines and Technology in Tarkwa.
When we talk of the negative impact on the small-scale mining, one of the biggest is the environmental impact. I'm looking at disturbing our water bodies, abundant pits all over, which serves as a breeding ground for sometimes mosquitoes, and also as a death trap to children or farmers. We also have air issues, areas where amalgamation, burning of the mercury happens. You have some mercury vapor in the atmosphere, which also definitely pollutes the environment and also has health implication.
I already did an interview with some of the gold refineries in Switzerland. One of the big 4 in Switzerland decided not to buy gold from small-scale mining anymore. What does a decision like this mean for the society in Ghana?
I would tell them straight away to heavily invest in the small-scale mining sector. The reason being that, one, the number of people that depend on the sector is a lot. 4 million people out of 30 million are depending on the sector. The question is it a sector we should neglect? No. I believe so much in the small-scale mining sector. They can source responsibly. The Swiss team, please come on board. We know Swiss have good standards. You have good standards. We've heard about the Swiss watches and the Swiss staffs. We believe that if you also get involved, we could learn from you guys and better the system. But when you stay away from the sector, it won't get better.
There's no shortage of brilliant ideas, and they're surprisingly simple. This machine from the company Commodity Monitor carries out the final step in the gold mining process without using mercury or any chemicals.
You watch from here, there are some sleeves in it, so after the gold gets stuck on it. Yes.
The trick is in having several layers.
The first level gets about 90% of the gold, and then the second and third gets the rest. So you see, right, you have the eye, you see the gold that's stuck in between. See the yellowish in between the mats.
A machine like this costs between $2,000 and $3,000, an expense that would quickly pay for itself. But it's a big investment for the small miners.
How many of these can you produce in a year?
In a year, you can produce millions.
And how many are in use already?
There are over 30 miners in Ghana using it, and actually some in Guinea using it, and then some in Zambia using it.
I want to know more about the trading process in Ghana, so I investigate.
So, I saw you have a shop for buying and selling. Yeah, sure. Could we go inside for a little talk? Yeah.
Obrempong has already told me that sales here are very straightforward.
If I go to the river, I take out some gold. I'm lucky, I have a lucky day, I find 2 grams. I walk in here, it puts it on the way, I give me the money, and I walk away.
That's all.
That's all.
That's all.
And all this is completely without any documentation. Nobody wants to know where the gold is coming from.
No. There is no documentation. Is there any documentation? No. So it is very difficult, per the process, very difficult to trace the gold and where it is coming from. It mixes up. So somebody came to him, he buys it, another person from somewhere else also brings it, he buys it. Like the process continues like that. Then at the end of the week, he gives it to another person who will now merge all those different ones together as one gold, and that makes it very difficult to trace the source where the gold is coming from.
It's impossible.
It's impossible.
No wonder so much gold disappears undeclared from the country and continent.
We published a study on African gold flows. The idea was to find out how much gold is produced and exported legally and illegally. We came to the conclusion that in 2022, more than 430 tons of gold, worth over $30 billion, were smuggled from the African continent.
The Precious Minerals Marketing Company in Accra. This is where all gold that leaves Ghana legally is registered. We have an appointment with the boss.
A Swiss NGO did a large study. They came to the finding that each year between 20 and 30 tons of gold leave Ghana undeclared. Do you think this is realistic?
No, I do not think that figure is accurate. Yes, there is some smuggling that goes on, but I would give it a figure of about anywhere between 5 tons to up to a maximum 10 tons.
In the gold producing area, I randomly visited some of the small shops which are selling and buying gold, and all of them told me that there's absolutely no documentation.
Okay.
So I was wondering if this is legal.
Well, as far as that is concerned, that is illegal. Because first of all, PMMC issues trading licenses. Without that license, you cannot be trading in gold. Now, those licenses also come with terms and conditions. You must actually capture data on who you are buying the gold from, how much you are buying the gold for, what quantity you are buying it at, details of the person you are selling the gold to, and you are supposed to file monthly returns of all of this information.
Yeah, that's good to hear, and I really hope that it will work. Because when I was in this area, I didn't have the impression that the people over there already know about this.
Perhaps with this information you are giving me, what it then means is that we need to also emphasize on our sensitization. We need to do more as far as sensitization is concerned.
All in all, not so bad. I compliment him on his smart suit, and the next morning at the hotel, I receive a voucher.
Tie 27.
Tie 27.
A customized suit for free. Hospitality, demonstration of power. I'm not that easy to buy.
I am a whistleblower, anti-corruption activist, and also environmental militant. Most of our leaders are involved in this corruption. They contribute to the illegal export of our gold. And they contribute also to the illegal import of the mercury. I'm very close to one of the biggest gold traffickers in Ghana. I can even say in West Africa. He told me many evidence about how the gold leave Ghana to Dubai. They have a very, very restrictive network here in Ghana in the airport, in which some officials are involved, include some politicians, some powerful persons. If a gold dealer wants to export 4 tons, for example, he just needs to declare like 2 tons, and the other 2 tons leave the Ghana illegally. Their client in Dubai, they will let the customs in Dubai knows about it, and they will fill all the formalities before the gold comes. So the process is very, very simple.
The precious metal leaves the country, As to what's left behind, we now have that in black and white. 0.1 milligrams of mercury per liter, exactly at the WHO limit, still enough for serious consequences. Plankton absorbs the mercury, which is consumed by fish and then by larger predators. Also, the turbidity in the water is 100 times higher than the safe limit, and iron is 30 times higher than allowed in Switzerland, so hardly any fish can survive here.
There is no future in this country. If government do not take some measure, there is no future. In less than 40 years, nothing can grow there. They will degrade all the soils, all the lands. They know that the mercury is not good. They know. They know it's a poison. They know that it's a suicide. But they don't care because they are surviving.
Please proceed to boarding gate C6 now.
The last conversation has stuck with me, and I'm wondering, after all I've seen and heard, especially about the scale of the problem, what a change in the law in faraway Switzerland might possibly achieve.
If we really have a law that obliges refineries to know where their gold comes from and how the gold has come onto the market, they would ask the question as to whether it would not be better for them to have direct business relations with the mine in the country where the gold was extracted and no longer work with intermediaries. We have to tackle the problem at the source. We have to engage with the artisanal miners and really buy directly from these people. That's the best way to improve their living conditions, to increase their income, and to ensure they work under acceptable conditions.
If such strict laws were to come into place, wouldn't the refineries just move to other countries where such laws don't apply?
Perhaps, but that wouldn't harm Switzerland at all. Switzerland doesn't benefit much financially from these refineries.
That wouldn't be a big problem for Switzerland, but would it not improve things in the mining countries?
That's right. I mean, the Swiss refineries are still among the better ones. So from that point of view, as long as a refinery is in Switzerland, there's a better chance that things will improve.